Hello, welcome back to another video. So a few days ago I did the first draft of the Club World Cup squad, and since then I've been tinkering around with my squad, and I've got a few transfer dilemmas that I've got ahead of Sunday's deadline. I'll run them by you in this video. I'll quickly go over my chip strategy, the fixtures that I'm targeting, and then the players that I'm locked into, and then go over the transfer options that I'm thinking about. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. First of all, we've got the chip strategy, and honestly, it's not changed since last game week. I'm still locked into a game week 3 wildcard. My plan is to attack game week 1 and 2 and try and get as many points on the board as possible, because I think there's some really easy fixtures there for some teams, and I think by game week 3 these teams would have already qualified for the round of 16, and then you can attack game week 3 getting the players that need to win to get themselves into the round of 16, and that's where you can make some gains, because there'll be probably rotation from the likes of Bayern Munich in game week 3, and if you've got them in your side, you probably want to get rid of them. And by round 16, you can change your team completely, so you can really just attack game week 3 and see who can get the most points before you can get into a locked-in team for the rest of the tournament. Maximum captain is probably going to be in game week 1. My thought process around this is I've set up a side that I think are going to get really good points in this game week. So I can just sit back and let whoever gets the most points get doubled. And then the 12th man, I'm thinking game week 2. And I'll give you a reasons why, but I'm thinking maybe if I don't have Haaland, I can then buy him and have him as my 12th man, or I can get a Bayern Munich player and get him as a 12th man, where I can't really fit him into my side right now. So that's the thought process around the chips. I think I'll use all 3 of them before the group stages are over. Next up, we've got the fixtures, and these are the same teams that I'm targeting: Inter Milan, River Plate, Dortmund, City, Juventus, Bayern, and Chelsea. I think they've got the easiest fixtures, where I feel like they could get a good amount of points and potentially be progressed by game week 3, where I can get them all out and get some other players in. So here's my side from last video, and as you can see, there's 9 players that are still locked into my side. Well, it's 8 really, because Mastantuano, if he actually joins Real Madrid on deadline day today, he'll be out my side. But if he stays at River Plate, he's staying in my side at 4.3 million. I think it's a steal of a price, and he'll be staying in. So there's Sommer, DiMarco, Mamouche, Guirassy, BVMZADRY and Ashawa that are not locked in. And I'll give you my reasons why and who I'm thinking about potentially buying next. So here we have a few transfer options, a few deadline decisions I've got ahead of Sunday. So option number 1 is to sell Sommer for Sanchez, and at the start of the week I wasn't in favour of this move as much, but as the week's gone on and Chelsea don't look like they're signing Mike Mignan, it looks like Sanchez is going to be Chelsea number 1 goalkeeper in the competition. So that could be an option, but option number 2 is more likely, because swapping DiMarco for Cucurella, you're going to get more chances of goals as assists, I think. And then you can keep Sommer and keep the clean sheets more likely. As a Chelsea fan, I'm more confident on Inter Milan keeping clean sheets, and I've got more confidence that Cucurella is going to get a goal or assist. So option number 2 is more likely. So then we've got option number 3, and it's which Dortmund defender to buy, basically. It's currently on BVMZADRY. He's currently under 5% owned, so if he gets over 4 points, he gets an extra 2 points, so that could be massive over the tournament. I'm sure people will start buying him if he does do that in the first game week, but he's the current player that I've picked, but it could change before deadline. Ryanson could come in to fund other moves. Then we've got option number 4, which is to sell Marmoush and Ashawa. My thought process around this is to upgrade midfield and downgrade in the forward line, but still get the same attacking threat. And with Canalogu, he could potentially be on penalties and set pieces, which could be a massive threat. I've seen a lot of people buying Samu, which is understandable for the price. 4.2 is a steal. But for me, I'll probably go for Estavo, just because it's a bit different. And Estavo's got 30 goals and probably 12 assists in the last 12 months. And he's a bit of a differential for me. And as a Chelsea fan, I've been tracking him a little bit the last 12 months. So I'm keen to see how he gets on. And I think he might be in my side before deadline. He's in the same group as Porto, so he's got the same chances of potentially getting goals and assists. And then we've got option number 5, which is to change 4 players in Sommer, Ashawa, Guirassy and Marmouche. For me to do this, Gittins has to move to Chelsea on deadline day, or I said I have too many Dortmund players. And if he stays at Dortmund, I don't really want him because he doesn't really fit into the manager's system. But selling Guirassy would open up a Dortmund slot, and that could mean I could get Kobel in goal. I do really want Haaland, but for the 11 million price, it's putting me off a little bit because his second half of the season in FPL wasn't that great. But it's Haaland. So with all that in mind, let's have a look at my team and how it might line up. So this is my first option. It'll be making one transfer, and it'll be Cucurella in for DiMarco, and then I wouldn't have the triple up in Inter Milan defence, and gives me a bit of an attacking force with Cucurella. And potentially this is the only transfer I could make before deadline. Then we've got the second option, which is to make 6 changes. So the first option will be to sell Sommer for Kobel, and then again Cucurella for DiMarco, but I could keep one of the Inter Milan players in Sommer or DiMarco and just make one of the transfers. Because the prices are basically very similar. Then the third transfer would be to sell Marmoush for Haaland, which I'm in favour of. Haaland's a much bigger goal threat and a less minutes risk. And then to fund this move, I'd have to sell Guirassy for Samu, and I'd also have to sell Benzema for Ryanson. But I am a bit wary about this move because if Gittins does move to Chelsea on Tuesday today, will he start for Chelsea on Monday in the first Club World Cup match? I'm very doubtful about that. So it's a bit of a minutes risk. So why buy him and then have a minutes risk? So it's putting me off this move a little bit. As much as I want Haaland in my side, I feel like I can cover it with Marmoush for one game week, and then when I do use my 12th man in game week 2, I can buy Haaland as an option. So I'm only missing out on him on one game week basically. So there we have it for my transfer deadline decision video. As you can see, there's quite a lot of transfers to be made and decisions to be made. I'm hoping in the next hour of the transfer window, some of these decisions get made for me. If Gittins doesn't move to Chelsea, obviously I won't be buying him, as I've said. Maybe there's a curveball and somebody buys somebody that I wasn't expecting and he comes into my plans. So that could happen, and I could tell you about that on Sunday's video. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. My target is to get 30 likes. And I'm so close to getting a milestone of 100 subscribers. And if you are playing Club World Cup Fantasy, hit subscribe button because I will be doing more content as the competition gets played, so you will like the content that's coming. And lastly, I've got a mini league, so if you are playing it, hit the description button. I've got an auto link join code, so you can join my mini league and try and beat me. We'll see if you can do that. It'll be fun to try and beat you guys. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.